Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Forgive me, I've just realised I've left my dryer on and I need to shut the door because you'll be hearing it. I hope you're all doing well. I wish the same could be said for me. I am under the weather big time. I've been poorly, hence for the radio silence. No FIFA, no streams, no nothing. To be honest, I'm going to do this reaction video and then I'm going straight back to bed. I can't lie to you, it's been yeah. Here and there, you know. I'm not going to go into it too much. But I hope you're all doing well and feeling a lot better than what I am right now. Please smash a like on the video. Thanks for all the love and support over the last couple of videos. They're still banging, which is great. Hope not, Jared. So that's great to see. So thank you, and just continuing supporting the channel, okay? And I'll try to do my best to be the best I can. Yeah. Listen, let's get straight stuck into it then. So obviously Daniel Farke has just done his press conference after or before Southampton, which of course kicks off at 12:30 Saturday morning, so it's quite an early one. Like I say, I'm going to try and get some sleep for the rest of the day. Hopefully we'll be back fighting fit, and we will do a live preview on the evening before the game. Hopefully I'll just speak to Andrea and Lockie and see about sorting that out, okay? So let's go. So look, he was asked the question first and foremost, you know, is this like I guess the most confident time? You know, Leeds United are in the most confident moment, having just performed, you know, our most complete performance. Let's be honest, like we were mint against West Ham, against Watford. We were unreal. Yeah, we were absolutely unreal. Now, he said, "Yeah, look, we're in a very good moment right now, but we always have to be on it for sure against Saints." And as the title goes, as the thumbnail shows, is this the worst time to play Southampton? Now, my personal thoughts are no. I think they're on a hiding to nothing. I think they're only going one way, and I think Leeds United should win the game. I'll be very disappointed if we don't win the game. Let me just say that first and foremost. And obviously Daniel Farke probably has to say these things, but ultimately behind the scenes he's probably thinking, yeah, listen, they're good. But we do still have to think about them potentially being a wounded animal. And he's spoken about that, you know. He said, look, yeah, four losses in a row. It could actually be the worst moment to play Southampton. And I put in my own notes, you know, are they a wounded animal? They're a good side. Let's not pretend that we didn't see them in the early starts of the season when they'd won a few games where they were possession. You know, they were dominating teams without scoring a lot of goals. Yes, after the window shut, it's sort of gone the other way with them. But you know, they can turn it on. They could do that. I don't think they will. I'm hopeful they won't. But like Daniel Farke said, they've had time on the training pitch to make things right. Like, let's not forget last week we had a game like Sunday, a game Wednesday, a game Saturday, and same for Southampton in a similar sort of vein. So what Daniel Farke said, they've now had a full week on the training pitch. Now, so have we. So let's not forget that. So have we. But they have had time to make it right. There hasn't been a quick succession of games. So all their focus this week will have been on Leeds United. Russell Martin's focus will have been on Leeds United and Daniel Farke. You know, as much as Daniel Farke says, yeah, they have a good relationship, I think professionally behind the scenes, maybe it was fraught because he sort of got rid of Naismith and Russell Martin. There's an Athletic article, actually, that I was reading as he was talking, just having a look, about Russell Martin's exit from Norwich and the way he feels he were treated. So there will be a little bit of that. We know, let's not forget, Frank Lampard could only make his Chelsea side be decent against Leeds. they would go, like, wouldn't win games, play against us, run the most they've ever run, and then lose again. So it could be something similar for Russell Martin in this fixture. But he did say, you know, he does believe their class will shine eventually, you know. But Leeds United are already there to get the points that they need. He was asked about Bamford. Again, I don't know why we keep going here. We only need one update, but everyone keeps going back to Bamford. We don't need to do that anymore. I guess the reason we don't need to do that anymore is because we have a stacked squad. Let's have a look at it. Number 9 position, Joel Pirot, Mateo Joseph, Gio Rutta, Joffy. We don't just have to rely on Bamford, but of course they want an update on him. He said he's 1 week further ahead, could be in the squad for Saturday. Mentally, he's also there and ready. He's got experience at this level. He scores goals, etc., etc. Now, I think Graham Smith mentioned how previously he was the main man and the only number 9. And let's be honest, at times, Leeds United's fortunes rested solely on Patrick Bamford. We know that as a fan base. It was always, when's Bamford back? We need him back. He's our only fit striker. Can we get him back? Will he get anywhere close to where we had him? Now, he doesn't have that. Bamford doesn't have it. Leeds United don't have it. And this is a good thing. But, he said that Graham Smith asked if that will help. And I think it will. I think it will help Patrick Bamford. I think it'll help us as a fan base because we don't have to rely on him. You know what I mean? I do think it helps. We can see him come onto the football pitch and know that, oh, please stay fit or please score the goals because they can be shared about. So I do think it helps him. But I like what Daniel Farke said. He sort of shut it down straight away and said, listen, we're not here only to help Patrick. He's here to help us. Do you know what I mean? And I liked that as well. I had a little chuckle to myself as he said it. He said, but look, he's quality. He's got many goals in this division. Yeah, he mentioned him scoring like 20 plus. He also got an England call-up, and he said he didn't win that out of a raffle, and we have to remember that as well. Now, a lot of people say, yeah, but there were no fans in stadiums, etc. Okay, maybe that is enough. But ultimately, he did get to that level. He just said we're happy he's back in team training, which is good. I think Adam Pope asked him if you change a winning team. I know we had this discussion on the final word with Joe. I think Joe said you don't, and I was like, yeah, but you bring him Rodon. And that was the whole crux. I think Kimberly's just asked about Rodon there. Rodon was never not fit. He was just suspended, if you remember. But Daniel Farke said this is a good thing to have competition. We are in a good moment. Even now with the extra time off, the players have had extra time off. They've had a week off, right? Whereas they had 3 games in 6-7 days. So madness. Now they've had time off, which is good. So when was the last time for you as a fan we felt this good? That we felt this strong squad wise? It's been a long time. It has been a hell of a long time. Because look at the centre back, we got 4 fit centre backs. Okay, left back, but we've still got options there. You've got Jamie Shack, you've got Byram, you've got Hjelde, you've got Strauch even if he needed to go there. Whereas last season, Strauch was our only option there. We have options everywhere, so we don't need to worry about these players anymore as much. He was asked about Mateo Joseph. He said, look, he really impressed in pre-season. Also in the behind closed doors games. If you remember, we beat Barnsley like 6-odd, something like that. And Mateo Joseph scored about 3 goals, got a couple of assists. And he also said it's like disappointing for him he got injured when he did, because he'd have used him. And I think now that he'd have used him up until when the window was shut. And if you think in that moment, then Mateo Joseph might have gone on a goal scoring run. And then he might have been the main starter. But unfortunately, because he got injured, he hasn't had that opportunity that he probably would have got. Because you think now we've got Pirot, we've got Rutta, so it's changed. But he did say he's doing really good in training. We need to give him minutes in the under-21s. And I got the impression he's more about the future. He said mid to long term. But that is disappointing for Joseph, because I think he would have been given that opportunity. And maybe he'll get opportunities towards the back end of the season. And like Jamie said, maybe Daniel Farke would opt for Mateo Joseph over Bamford because he's the future. And I think there's something in that as well. Bamford will come to the end of his tenure at Leeds United. He's not going to be getting a new deal, is he? I don't see that happening. Any new knocks? Everyone, I've seen on Twitter, a few people said, so who's injured this week? Thankfully for Leeds, no one. No new injuries. Willie's still out. He's had surgery, went well. Junior Firpo, still out. Listen, what's Junior Firpo doing? Let's be realistic here. Does he want to get fit? I don't know. I'm not a medical practitioner. I haven't watched the Rob Price Leeds United podcast, what he's had to say, so I haven't seen that. But and he mentioned Spence, but no new injuries is great to hear. As Leeds Lounge said, that is music to all our ears. Really, really good. Graham Smith mentioned about last performance against Watford being the most complete performance and asked, can you learn anything from that? And I loved this. He went, well, we did allow him one chance in the 95th minute. As a Leeds fan, I was pretty smug. I was like giggling, going, he's taking the piss. He's taking the piss. We allowed them one chance in the 95th minute. But he did mention that there was a crossing chance earlier on and mentioned maybe the balance could have been better. And did mention that efficiency in the first half. Because let's be honest, a lot of us, myself included, felt as the game went on, this is going to be 0-0. Leeds United have messed up their chances. In the Premier League, if you don't take your chances, we would have been punished. This is the Championship, though, so you can get away with it. But that does need to improve. And I do stand here, with what's the word? I do believe that had we have scored in that first half early on, I think this game could have been 5 or 6. I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility for that to have happened. He did say, but listen, let's not, in a way, let's not hammer it too much. At the end of the day, we were great. We were great, and the lads should be praised for that. But we have to perform again on Saturday. Baron Cross asked about it being a carnival atmosphere towards the end of the game. Everyone rutter, how does that affect training? And again, Farke's experience comes in because he said, look, it only helps the first day because the next day back in training is all about next week. And again, I'll come back to that point. This is where Farke's experience is massive because he's been here, done it. He's been here and done it. He's done it twice. That's why it was crazy when people were saying that he was an uninspiring appointment. He wasn't the right appointment. Someone wanted Vieira. Some madness. Madness, really. Because ultimately, he knows what's needed. So he knows to say to the lads, listen, celebrate today, not tomorrow. Because we've got Southampton at the weekend. And I think it's great him saying that. He was asked about looking forward to coming up against Russell Martin. He said he's a great coach. I could see that as a player. I'm just concentrating on the task at hand. I don't want to get too involved at him because I know how good he is as a coach. So I need to be prepared to focus on the game. On a personal level, he's great. So I'm looking forward to it. I think there might be a little bit of history there. Maybe more so from Russell Martin's side than Daniel Farke. Daniel Farke's the manager, he's just doing his job, right? And he obviously didn't see a future for like Naismith and didn't see a future for Russell Martin at the time at Norwich. And to be honest, he was right to think that because he brought on Ben Godfrey, Grant Hanley came to the fore and they went and won the league. Do you know what I mean? So he was right. He was right to say that. But you can understand from a player's perspective, I think Russell Martin had been at Norwich for a long time. So you can understand it from his perspective. But he did say, look, he's a great coach, but I've just got to concentrate on the task at hand. He's great. I'm looking forward to it. Someone asked, will he turn it around? I think it might have been Phil. And he said it's not about it's not about if, it's when. I just hope the turnaround doesn't happen this weekend. Neither do I. He was then asked about it being so poor at Leeds United defensively. How did you go about changing that? How did you, what did you prioritise, And I think we know how poor we were defensively as a side. I think the Sheffield Wednesday clean sheet's massive, and then we've, 4 on the spin now. But he did say, it's possession. If you have the ball, you don't need to defend. What that also enables you to do is conserve energy for when you need to defend. So when you are under the cosh for them 5-10 minute spells, even if you are dominating, if you dominate a game, even Man City will come under pressure for 5 or 10 minutes. They might be 3-0 up and it might not matter. But if it's 0-0, it could matter. And it could be in that moment that a chance is taken. So every team will come under a period in any game. So I think what he's saying is, listen, if you're not having to work hard and you have the ball at your feet, then, you don't need to defend. And if you think about last season, especially under Jesse, and I know so under BL's, it was more the setup and players worked... we can all remember, I think is it Lacazette against Arsenal where he just strolls up to the halfway line and allows Pascal to follow him all the way up, and there's a massive gap. Like, you can see it as clear as day, and Liverpool did it a few times in order to pull us out and do little 1-2 passes and goals scored. Like, the players ultimately worked out the system, and it was too easy to play against. I think under Jesse, though, on the flip side, we never wanted the ball. So we never conserved energy. We were just 100% all of the time, and it was just too poor. We never wanted the fucking ball. Who plays football to not want the ball? I'm not sure. I just didn't enjoy it. But yeah, if you have the possession of the ball, you don't need to defend, and then you also are able to conserve energy for when you do need to defend, which is bang on. He was asked about Helder Costa. Nothing's changed. Helder's obviously not been able to find himself a football club either. So there you go. And asked about Ilya Gruyev. Towards the end by Phil here. We're yet to see him, obviously. I've seen a bit of him in Bulgaria, but he played at centre-back, didn't do great, but you can see he's got qualities on the ball. And he said, look, the pace of the game in the motherland, he called it, in England, is quicker than anywhere else. The physicality we know about, it's even tenfold in the Championship. So he has to adapt to that. He mentioned the language as well, obviously. Sorry, folks. Even the language can take time. He said he's got very good English, but in terms of what's required on the football pitch when you're speaking about tactics, etc., he needs to know what's meant, okay? But the great thing is, and I think, again, this comes back to the squad building this season, the options that we have, is that there is no urgency. Just like there is no urgency with Bamford. It's a similar sort of situation because we have the players. We already have Ampadu, who's been the best midfielder in the league this season. We have Archie Gray, who's been a revelation. We've had Kamara come in and not look out of place. You know, it's the same everywhere, even in the number 9, as we touched on just a couple of minutes ago. So there is no urgency. So he can be given little minutes here and there. Whereas previously, under previous seasons with Bamford, we needed him back straight away because we had no one else. We needed players in straight away because we had no one else. And therefore they got injured and returned back to the sidelines quicker, etc. So minutes can be managed, and it's the same with Gruyev. It's great. It's great to see. But that was your press conference in a nutshell. And as I say, I'm not feeling too snappy, folks. I'm going to have another lem sip and get myself back to bed. But it had been a while since I'd done a video. I've had a few messages, so I thought, you know what, just get your ass out of bed, do this video, and then cool. But know that if I'm better in the morning, we'll do something in the morning, but there will be a preview on the evening, and then obviously the game's 12:30 on Saturday as well. Thank you for always supporting the channel, folks. All love, 300 people here. Make sure you all pay your rent and like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you can. Get your comments, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out now, and yeah, have an amazing day, okay? Peace now. Bye-bye.